Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. Today, I'm really excited. This is gonna be a cool project. In 2028, I'll be attending the LA Olympics preliminary women's volleyball games. One of them, I forgot which day. Now, I was a volleyball star back in my day. So I really wanted to go all out for this. And I know it's 2026, it's in 2 years. It's really early to be thinking about what I'm gonna wear, but I'm already thinking about what I'm gonna wear. Because it's been like FIFA lately, I've been seeing people make tops out of soccer balls. And I've also seen variations of like a baseball, football. I've seen someone make like a top out of baseball gloves. I think it's just really cool. I've seen like the sneaker top, sneaker bags. So I decided I'm gonna make a top out of volleyballs. So I bought volleyballs. This one I actually had already. It's a little deflated, but I would actually like play volleyball in the park with this. So, but yeah, I think it'd be cute to just do like red, white, and blue. We have some like cool writing that we can work with on the balls. And let me show you the top I have. My plan is to, you'll see it better in a different clip, but it's basically like a halter neck top. My plan is to, one, flatten out these volleyballs and then sew them onto this top, because I don't think I want the volleyball skin to just be bare on my skin, no. So yeah, this is gonna give me like the silhouette that I want. And we're gonna make a few changes. For one, I'm gonna open up the sides. This is my plan for now, at least. I'm gonna open up the sides, put grommets on the sides, and make it like a lace-up situation so that I can easily get in and out of the top. And then what I want to do in the back, it's a little bit like low back. I want to put grommets down the sides of the back and then use string to make like the pattern of a volleyball net. Wouldn't that be so cool? So I do have string. I have this red string that I got. It's 2 millimeters, which I think I have grommets that are 3 millimeters and 5 millimeters, so I think this should be a perfect size to use for that. But yeah, I mean, let's get into it. I'm just getting started now by ripping open these volleyballs. They luckily had like seams that I could see really clearly, so I just started plucking at the seams with my seam ripper and got it open. I never really thought about what the inside of a volleyball looked like, but there's like this rubber ball inside with the valve attached that I had to like pry off. But yeah, it was pretty easy, and I just tried to flatten it as much as possible so I can have easy fabric to work with here. Once I got all of the volleyballs opened up, I grabbed my top and cut it down the sides. This is where we're gonna add the grommets to do the lace-up detailing, but definitely wanted to just have 2 separate pieces. If you see flashing in the background, I was just watching TV, probably watching Real Housewives of Atlanta, so that's just my TV flashing, sorry. The top also had these cups inside of them, so I just took those out. The volleyball is gonna have quite enough padding, so I don't think I need any more. Now I'm just starting with laying out the volleyball pieces onto the top so I can get a visualization of how I'm gonna sew things together and how the patterns are gonna look. I tried to like not do everything vertical or horizontal or have all the same colors or patterns next to each other. I try to just mix it up, make it look random. You can see me like really contemplating how I'm gonna do it. I did end up ripping apart a few more pieces just so I can move those around a little bit more. And I did the same with the back pieces as well. It's the next day. I did rearrange some of the panels on here a little bit. I think I'm happy with this. So I think I'm just gonna start sewing and see. There are like a few gaps that we'll probably have to fill in, like on the sides mostly. But we do have quite a bit of extra volleyball left over, so I think it won't be too crazy. Hopefully. I mean, I've never sewn a volleyball before, so I think I'm gonna start with like the 2 boob pads, because I think this is kind of like the center and then everything else branches off from there. So I'm just gonna go to my sewing machine and sew these right sides together down, and then try not to leave any gaps when I'm sewing. Like, try not to have like these triangle pieces on the bottom. Yeah, see you there. Guys, I'm kind of nervous. Okay, I'm nervous. Oh, I'm just gonna try to like go slow. I know I can adjust speed. Oh, that was like, no. Okay. Oh, we can definitely crank up the speed on this actually. I did it! I did it! Okay. That was not as hard as I thought it was gonna be. Okay, next. So these 2 pieces are gonna be like above this piece. So I'm gonna start first by sewing these 2 together, and then I'll sew it to this. Okay, I'm a little bit nervous on this part because there's gonna be kind of like 4 layers of volleyball. I'm gonna try to just like trim off the excess so that there's a little bit less fabric. Okay, that went pretty well. I think I did kind of change my strategy. At first I was gonna use the shirt as just like a base piece and then sew the volleyball panels onto the shirt directly. But I think I want to try to like go for just like a cleaner look. So I'm basically just trying to make a main piece out of the volleyball using this shirt as a pattern. And then I'll use it as a lining and kind of make a shirt like the proper way, I guess. Just so it's a little bit cleaner. So now it's gonna be this piece. I'll sew it onto here like this. And then I think the neck we're gonna leave for the end. I actually think I'm gonna cut off the neck here so that I can just focus on the body part. I'll have to sew these pieces right sides together to the shirt, flip it inside out, then attach the neck back on. That's kind of how I'm thinking it should be, but we'll see. So I finished this piece. I'm gonna move on to the bottom part. So I have them like this. I'm not gonna need all this length, it's gonna be way too long. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just cut this piece in half and then sew this onto here to make this panel, and then I'll attach it to this. Okay, we've got the main piece all sewed up here. What I'm thinking, I'm gonna add 2 more pieces, these big ones to the bottom, because I would like this to like not be cropped. I want it to be a little bit long. And then what I think, to use some of these leftover pieces to kind of fill in these gaps like on the sides. The way it is now, like this gap isn't gonna work, this gap isn't gonna work. So I think I'm just gonna sew directly like onto here like this to fill in some gaps. Okay, so I got all this sewed together. I filled in all the gaps on the sides. Now I'm just gonna do the same to the back side, and hopefully there's no gaps to fill in because I kind of used up the rest of the extra. This is like all I have extra, and maybe like a few little scraps. But let's see. Just sewed these parts off camera, but pretty perfect size for this. So what I think I'm gonna do now is I do need to cut off some of the sides. So I bought this shirt like a size larger than I usually wear, just so I could have more fabric to work with just in case. So it actually doesn't need to be like this wide. You can like cut off like an inch on the sides, I want to say. I should probably like measure it to my body. Actually, never mind. I do think the width is fine. So we're just gonna cut it to this size. Maybe a little bit bigger if I can. Just a bad memory. Is this love I see? Just a bad memory. You're 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 just a bad memory. Hey y'all, so I am back. It's a couple of days after the last clip that you saw, and we had a little problem. So these pieces, they came out good, but when I like put them up to my body, there's just not enough width, and there's just way too much skin exposed. Even though I'm doing the lace-ups on the sides, I don't want there to be too much exposed. I want it to just kind of fit. So I had to get another volleyball. So I got this one. I thought it would be cool if like the sides were just white, but I'm a little bit worried because the material of this volleyball is different from the other ones I've been using. Like this one feels more rubbery, and even though there's like lines on this, there's not really like seams for me to rip apart. So I'm just gonna cut it, and I hope this works when I sew it. And when you were down, when you were down, when you were down, I made you whole. Is this love in me? Okay, y'all. Actually, like, never mind. I put this up to this, and I hate the way that looks. So I ordered another volleyball, and we'll just have to wait. I think it's supposed to come tomorrow, so I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, y'all, we are back. It is the next day, and I have the correct volleyball, so let's just tear this thing apart. This is kind of crazy. So I got this volleyball. It's different from the other ones I got. I tried to get the same one that I got last time, but it was just like not available anymore. This one also doesn't really have like sewed seams like the other ones, so it doesn't look like I can just seam rip it. So I think I'm gonna have to go in with scissors. Okay, who knew there were so many different types of volleyballs? Y'all, I had to put my back into getting this volleyball open. I was like tag teaming it with the scissors and the seam ripper to see if I can poke a hole. The hardest part though is just making the initial hole, but once you get started, you're good. And this is how I'm planning for the pieces to be laid out. And my mic went out here, but I'm just explaining. I'm gonna sew each piece together individually and then sew the pieces onto the main piece. You'll see basically what I've just been doing this whole time. I just noticed that like this rubbery part peels off, so I'm actually gonna try to peel it off first before I sew. That broke it immediately. Okay, correction. It actually did not break the needle, but the needle just kind of like came out of the socket, which is kind of crazy. I'm gonna just slow down the speed and turn down the tension a little bit to like 2 and the slowest speed, and I'm gonna see if that works. If that doesn't work, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Y'all, I do not have a lot of footage of me sewing this part because it literally took 10 years off of my life. I think I broke like 4 needles. The material of this volleyball was just a lot thicker, and it was sticky because the rubber part was just like stuck completely to the volleyball, not like the other ones where it was just the valve. This was a nightmare, but we persevered, we got it done. And finally, we're getting to the end of this project. The next part is just to put both sides, right sides together and sew all around. I did make sure to leave a gap so that you can turn the piece inside out so that the right sides are now facing out. And I also made sure to just trim off any excess volleyball that was hanging off the sides. Now I am turning it inside out. I did forget to do this, but you should also clip the ends, like each of the corners, so that when you turn it inside out, the corners are really like crisp and sharp. And yay, now we have the back piece done. I went ahead and closed up the side after that, just using a top stitch, and repeated for the front side. First I chopped off that neck though, and then just sewed and left the whole bottom open this time because it's a really big piece and I was afraid I wasn't gonna have enough space to turn it inside out. And I fluffed out all the corners, and once I was done, I just flipped over the bottom piece of the shirt over the volleyball raw edge and sewed that using a top stitch. Now I have both main pieces done. Now it's grommet time. I just used a ruler to mark where the grommets should go on the back piece, and then I lined up the back piece with the front piece and then marked the holes in the same position so that they could line up nicely. And I got this little grommet kit off of Amazon, and it comes with like the whole hole puncher mechanism thing. So you can punch the hole first and then put in your grommet and then punch in the grommet to secure it. And here's what the grommets along the back piece are looking like. Pretty clean, pretty crisp. Now I'm just going to do the same thing with the front piece. Now that that's done, the last part is just to lace it up. So I'm taking my lace, which I also bought off of Amazon, and just lacing it up like a little corset. So yesterday I was able to install all of the grommets and laces into the top, and then I could like actually fully try it on. Funnily enough, it was too big, which mostly like really big on the back. It was bubbling out a lot in a way that was not cute, which is funny because I literally bought more volleyball to add to the back because I thought it was going to be too small, but I ended up sewing it just like this. I'm going to cut off the excess, but I actually think I need to sew it a little bit more to make it the back piece a little bit smaller. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. I started doing it yesterday and then my needle broke. I think I've broken like 4 needles throughout this whole process, so that was just my last straw yesterday. I was like, okay, pack it up, we're done. So yeah, I need to do that today. And then what's the other thing? Oh yeah, also when I tried this on, the neck was like a little bit too long, so I'm also gonna take like an inch or so off of the neck. And I also added the grommets and lacing that are going across the back. If you remember at the beginning of this video, I wanted to do like a volleyball net pattern on that back piece, but those laces have become more like structurally necessary than I thought they would, because like if not, there's a lot of side boot going on, so it's not like fitting with the volleyball net. But I'm still gonna give it a try, but I don't know, that may or may not happen. I gotta see if I can make it work. Let's sew this to make it smaller, and let's fix the neck as well right now. Just showing you all the latest casualty. It didn't even break, the needle just bent really bad. Okay, so that's the back piece done. Now let's fix the neck. I'm also thinking I should like burn the ends of these laces because they're unraveling like a lot. The thing is that I don't own like a lighter, but I have one of the electrical ones, but I don't know if it'll work the same. See, I have one of these, so let's see. I don't know, maybe it will. Okay, let's try to burn this. I don't even know how to use this. Okay, it's on. Okay. See? Okay, I think that worked. The tip definitely looks a little barbecued. And here she is. I'm really happy with how it came out. Is it perfect? No, but guys, I don't sew for perfection. I sew just for fun. This is not how I'm gonna style it. I just threw on some jeans. I didn't even iron them. I do want to do like an A-line tennis skirt in navy blue and some knee pads to complete the volleyball look. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.